Welcome back. This is part 6, and here we'll be doing, as I've said in the previous videos, I'm working over an original layout done in blue pencil from a friend of mine. I did the final pencil work here on this Strathmore uh, Bristol board, and that drawing's already been done. The prior videos that led up to this number 5 were instructional in showing that. This is my how-to tutorial. I'll always, with a caveat, I should say, for anyone listening, that this is not how you should do it or how you must do it. This is simply how I do it. So here I'm using a Copic multiliner 0.3 and a 0.1. And right now I just thought I throw the last video I filmed, I did the what I call the filigree, which is actually the chainmail that is on his tunic here. So here I'm trying to get over into the hands, and I did some minor tweaking. Let me open this pen up of the shading that goes into the hand. So let me show this here. Also, I try to make sure that I use my pens in such a way that gives the illusion of almost brushwork. And a lot of it is exactly that. It's an illusion that is on a 2D piece of paper, kind of giving you the three-dimensional view. Okay, let me see. There are some stated lines I've already laid out here that I want to keep to. So that's part of the goal of being an inker when you're drawing someone else's, inking over someone else's pencil work. You want to make sure that you are true to what originally was drawn. Let me go with a thinner line here. Okay. These are the gloves that have sort of been kind of like motorcycle gloves, gauntlets that have those cutoff points at after the first knuckle. All right, so here we go. This fine point, this is a 0.1, allows me to do some very fine line work, which I love to do. I'm a detail-oriented individual. If that hasn't come across yet, not I am so very much that when it comes to inking. I've seen, again, I was talking in my last episode, is that what we're going to call it? Video, clip, call it whatever. We'll figure it out as we go along. This is a new channel, and I'm just figuring my way through all of this editorial and jargon that I'm supposed to use on YouTube. Excuse me. It's my allergies again. So these are the base of the knuckles there, so to speak. Also, when a drawing starts getting away from you, bring it closer to you like I'm doing now. That way you have more control of the line. Case in point here. All right, here we go. So in the last episode, I was talking about some of the anchors that had influenced me. I mentioned, I left one great master out, which I felt bad about, but I had to limit the time on that video. That's a gentleman by the name of Joseph Rubenstein, who comes to the conventions and shows quite often. And I haven't seen him yet. I went to the San Francisco Fan Expo this past weekend. It was a blast. It's my first show in, I don't know, 25, 30 years. It's been along those lines since I attended a comic book convention or show. Conventions, they're all conventions of one form or the other. So here I was given the freedom to sort of embellish a little bit, which is great when you're working on someone else's stuff. But not too much that it takes away. And of course, I'll check with the individual. Well, I may not be able. I'm hopeful I'll be able to get a hold of him, but if I can't, I won't be mentioning his name, the original penciler, on the airwaves, so to speak, unless it's okay with him. It may be, it may not be, so. Okay, so we want to keep this here because there is a strap that goes that cuts off there. All right, we're gonna make some lines here. We've got the gauntlet done with the beginning of the knuckles, the fingers. Okay, wait here. All right, so let me see. Let me check the time. Are we good on time? Yeah, we're good. We're 5 minutes in. Let me see if I can move this a little closer to us. All right, that's better. All right, would you go, folks? I want to see a close up. I think that might be better. I'm trying to use my artistic license here, so to speak, making sure that you're able to see what I'm doing. If not, it kind of defeats the purpose of this tutorial. All right, so I can't move it any further than that. I'm going to have a, let me put this here. All right, here we go. So the glove was originally done with these diamond shaped. You know what? We're going to use a thicker line. Studs that go on the gauntlet or wrapped around the bottom part of the gauntlet. Again, I could do these differently, but that's not my job. My job is to interpret what's there as the inker and not take anything away that was laid down by the penciler. And we're going to give it some depth. I think we have my light source is from above and from the right, or on this side, yes. However that comes across on camera. And then we're going to use this 0.3 to get the rest. I'm going to do another cursive line here. And again, there's no right or wrong way. I constantly say that on my previous videos, and I'll say it in this one and in the future. You'll get tired of hearing me say that, but all there is at the end of the day is art. And is that a close-up? Yeah. All right, let's go back. Do a close-up here of this hand. There we go, folks. I had to adjust the camera view. All right. Now I know you can see it all. Let me put this down. Let's go to the details of the shades. I mean, this will be the areas the original penciler wanted inked. And we're going to be true to that. All right. I think the first rule of inking anyone else's pencil work is first, do no harm. Kind of like a doctor's mantra. Yeah. We're going to go from thin to thick to thin. All right. Now these lines are necessarily going to be fairly thin because they're at the top of the character. Always positioning of the body. I'm gonna this rag, sort of a ragged out glove, is first had me a little confused as to how he wanted me to ink it, but I was able to figure it out. All right, let me take this back up. All right, hold on, folks. All right, I get a kind of general view here. Let me see here. We're gonna go back to 0.1. Okay, we don't want any too much of a dead space there, but sometimes I'm at a loss for words, which is rare, but I am, because I'm trying to do this. I'm sure you all know that by now, that this is a little bit out of my comfort zone, but I decided to take a chance on it anyways. Most artists, I'm sure, draw on the silence and quiet of their studios, or somewhere, even if they're out in public. They are usually not talking to anyone. They're just doing their work, their sketch work, whatever it may be. Let's do these lines here the way